Oh man, I didn't want to hurt no feelings today, but every now and then, one of you guys send me a video that I know is going to go against the Manosphere talking points. All right? Or as I like to call the Manosphere bullshit. But anyway, guys, you know what? I shouldn't even say Manosphere. I should say dating coaches bullshit. Because this ain't even Manosphere shit. This is dating coaches bullshit, right? So, had a loyal patron supporter. And I know he had to be loyal because this is an old video that I made a long time ago talking about alpha providers and beta providers. He wanted me to talk about all the differences between an alpha provider and a beta provider. Okay, guys? Oh man, so I know I'm gonna hurt some feelings today, but hey, that's what I live for. I live to break hearts. Number one, guys, an alpha provider provides because he wants to, and a beta provider provides because he has to. All right, guys. So let me break this down for you guys, just so you guys understand this. I have always told you guys that a man should be the provider. The man should provide the experience, all that shit. And that's great and that's dandy. If you can afford it. Okay? So before I get into this, I want to explain something to you guys. If AMS was still in that basement making $30,000 a year, $30,000 to $40,000 a year, just depending on how many tips I got, and I had a girlfriend, not people I'm dating, talking about a girlfriend, which I didn't have in the basement. I've been only dating for years now. Haven't had a girlfriend since I was like 27. I mean, a monogamous girlfriend. I think the last one I had like 27, 28, a monogamous girlfriend. All right. But if I had a monogamous girlfriend, there was no way in the hell I was going to be able to be that provider. I wouldn't even try. Okay, guys? So before y'all guys listen to what I'm saying and get your chest all stuck out, this is only if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, that bitch need to contribute. She got to kick in. And I ain't talking about $5 on the light bill. Yeah, I'm going to need half. Yeah, you got one of them ratio apps, split apps on your phone. Yeah, on one of your credit cards. Yeah, you show her percentage. Show her what 50% look like of that bill. You know how you go to the restaurant and they put the bill on the table and the bill of $135. Yeah, split that. Or like when I did have a girlfriend, we lived together. It was my turn, then it's your turn. My turn, then it's your turn. Because I couldn't afford to be that. All right? Did I lose in the fucking sleep on it? Hell fucking no, I slept good with my feet kicked up in the air. So let me just say that emphatically, that does not make you a bitch or anything if you can't afford to be that provider. Okay? But for all my guys that can, let me explain something to you how this works. When you are that provider, and I'm talking about alpha provider, it gives you the dominance in the relationship. You are the leader. Plain and simple. You are the fucking leader. All right? If you live with your parents or you live with your brother and they pay the bills, or maybe you pay the gas bill, something like that, then they gonna set all the fucking rules. That's the way it goes. That is, they set all the fucking rules. But if I'm paying half, I don't give a fuck who house this name in. Who named this house in? If I'm paying half, I don't want to hear no shit about I can't have no company at the house. Yeah, don't be telling me about what time to be in the house, mama. I know this your house, and I know you had it for 30 years. But how much that goddamn rent was last month? Refresh my memory, because I had a little too much to drink last month. I can't quite remember. It was $1,200. How much of that I gave you? $1,200. I get $600. I gave you $600. All right, let me just make sure my math is on point. 600, 1,200 divided by 2 is 600. Okay, all right, mama. How much that light bill was last month? 150. How much I gave you? 75. Let me just make sure. Hey, mama, just hold tight. Let me just make sure my math on point here. Carry the 2. I think that's half. I think that means, mama, I'm going to bring whoever the hell I want up in here. That's the way that works. If me and you start a business together and you giving me half the startup, I don't get to call all the fucking shots because you putting half of the money up. But if you're a stockholder, well, you're buying stocks into it, then I pay the cost to be the boss. You just invest in me, shut the fuck up, and go to the park and play or something. Don't bother me about nothing. You don't got no input on this. You buy stocks. You shut the fuck up. So I buy stocks in the AT&T, whatever little small index funds. I don't get to call the AT&T CEO and tell him my thoughts on how he ought to grow my money. No, you either trust me or you get the hell on. That's the way it works. So as an alpha provider, you have the dominance in the relationship. You call the shots. That's the way it works. When me and my girl was splitting stuff, she had 50% input where we would go. Guys, how the fuck I'm gonna tell you where we gonna go all the time and you going half and half? It don't work that way. I can't, if we both going 50-50, then how the fuck I'm gonna call the shots? That don't even make work. So if you guys want to be that leader in a relationship, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. Okay, guys, I just want to say, but if you can't afford to do that, don't lose no sleep over it. Now let's get into the beta providers. Now this is where the hurt feelings is gonna come in at. So prepare yourself, because I know some of you guys are sensitive. I know what the generation is we live in these days. Everybody's sensitive. Everybody want a participation trophy. But here's the truth. You want the truth or you want me to bullshit you? I'm going to give you the truth right now. If you want to date women out of your league, hey, ain't nobody out my league. Yes, hell it is. Yeah, you looked in the mirror today? Okay, it's somebody out your league. Don't buy into that bullshit. It's somebody out my league. Don't buy into that bullshit. Yes, hell it is. Don't kid yourself. Don't believe in that bullshit. We have rich people, we have poor people. We have good-looking people, we have ugly people. That's the way it works. So it is, as hell it is. Somebody out your league, somebody out my league, it's somebody out everybody's goddamn league. Okay? If you want to date women that are out your league physically, which means that they have a higher sexual market value than you, if you want to screw them, there's going to have to be some compensation. I will fuck the shit out of Oprah if she gonna goddamn trick her damn money off on me. I'll blow that old bitch back. Hey, man, she's 70 years old. I wouldn't give a fuck. She's 170 years old. If her ass gonna give me $25K a week, I'll fuck that old ass bitch to sleep on camera for your ass. Give me $100K a month and see what I do for you, Oprah. I'll fuck that old bitch into a goddamn grave. You're goddamn right. And now but that's not alpha. You call it what you want her. You call it what you want her. It's gonna have to be some compensation though. I ain't gonna do it for GP. This is why you have cougars. You have older women who either already have money, usually their husband's alimony money or divorce money. But we ain't gonna talk about that today. We all gonna stick to the subject. It's not their money. But anyway, you have a 50, 60-year-old woman that wants to fuck with 25, 30-year-olds, hot studs, in shape. They don't want to deal with the guys who are 60 years old, they want some young and hot. Well, what they got to do? Got to pony up the dough. You got to become a cougar. That's the way it works. So for all my guys on here who was not dealt a good hand, you know what? Even if you was dealt a good hand, I shouldn't even say that. It ain't even about you not being dealt a good hand. If you want to date somebody who's physically more attractive than you, or I shouldn't even say that, have more sexual market value, and that's important for me to say that because sexual market value with a man is just not physical. Okay, you can have some status, you could just be one of these very charismatic personalities with women. All right, so all that values into a man's sexual market value. With a woman, it's primarily just her looks. But with a man, he could have hella social skills, or he could have a hell of a social group where he's just like super popular, whatever, right? You can have in other words, what I'm saying, let's say you in college, right? And you have a fraternity and you have a high status in this fraternity, right? And so in this fraternity, you get some status or whatever. So that's going to make you look better, right? So I'm not even talking about looks. That's just keeping the sexual market value. Because with men, it's not always just about looks, right? Our personality and other traits come into play, right? So, but if you want to date a woman, let's hypothetically say you're a guy who has a low sexual market value, right? Socially awkward, you average on looks, you're not popular, and you want to date the finest girl in your town, I'm sorry. You're going to have to pay like you weigh. That's the way it works, guys. You're going to have to pay like you weigh. If you run across a woman who, hypothetically, let's assume you do have a high sexual market value that might not be just tied physically, right? Let's hypothetically say you have some prominence, right? For whatever reason, whatever, right? But the woman, she don't give a damn, right? She's just like, you can still get her, but you're going to have to trick off. Let me just emphatically say this, guys. Lucky for me, I've never had to deal with that in my life. But let's just hypothetically say getting women was hard for me. Let's hypothetically, let me knock heavy on wood when I say this. I'm knocking on wood right here. Let's hypothetically say for whatever reason, I was just in a bad fire, right? Or y'all guys seen that lady who got her face ripped off by the chimpanzee who just tore her face off and shit? Or there's another girl on YouTube who a girl threw acid in her face. For whatever reason, let's just hypothetically say something horrific happened to my face and I still got my brain. I still know how to make money, but I'm not attractive at all anymore. Now, I got two choices at that point. I could date unattractive women if they would have me, probably fat, unattractive women, or I can do some compensation. I can tell you right now, I would do some compensation. Let me just own up to it and tell you right now, I would be one compensating motherfucker. That's what I would do. I'm just being honest. If I woke up tomorrow and I was 5'3" and unattractive for, just facially, I'm just not attractive. Let's just call it. For all y'all guys, I want y'all guys to go on YouTube, type in Darius and catfish. Darius and catfish. I want y'all guys to watch that episode. Darius, it was a little short black guy who was catfishing people. And I don't want to make no, I'll let you judge for yourself. But let's just hypothetically say I woke up tomorrow and I look like Darius. There's still hope, but you're going to have to compensate women financially. That's the choice, guys. So for all my guys who want Delta, you either can go black pill and cry all day, or you can build yourself into something where you have some disposable income. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. You could do one or the other. You could stay a victim, or you could say, you know what, this the hand I was dealt, and so I'm going to make lemonade out of it. The choice is yours, guys. What I will tell you guys is nobody cares. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. That's what I would tell you. but there's always hope. You probably just gonna have to be a beta male provider. And for all my guys on here who generally get women fairly easy and stuff, who for some reason cannot sympathize with black pill guys, which listen guys, I'm 6'4". I've been considered attractive all my fucking life, but I can sympathize with guys who aren't that. I don't understand how we have guys who can't visualize that if they didn't have the attributes that they have, that they were blessed with, that, you know, why the other guys are acting like bitches and stuff. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that, how you can't understand like everybody's not as attractive as you or blessed with your social skills or your charisma. For the life of me, I just don't grasp that. Why you can't look at some guys and say, man, you know, if I probably looked like that, I probably wouldn't have the same success as I do now. I don't understand that. My only gripe with the black pillars did not say that they're not right, that looks and all that stuff matters. My gripe with them is, okay, what you gonna do about it? That's been my thing from the get-go since I came on YouTube. Okay, what you gonna do about it? Yes, life's not fair. Yes, you're not the most attractive person. What we gonna do about it? We're gonna make 1,000 black pill videos crying about Chad, or we gonna build ourselves up, start a business, make some disposable income, and make these bitches suck our dick to sleep. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Those are the choices. All right, guys. But like I said, the beta provider provides because he has to compensate for his lack of sexual market value, and the alpha provider provides because he wants dominance in a relationship. Also, it's a financial thing also, guys. Like, you could want that dominance, but you might can't afford that dominance, right? So like me, I want that dominance. I want to be the leader. I want to dictate. Like, when I give my chicks, they just know to show up. Now, I try to keep in mind. I know what they like. I keep it in the back of my mind a little bit. But we're not going to clear no dates with you. No, you show up and look cute at 9:30. I pay the cost to be the boss. They got some little tofu on there for you little vegetarian, vegan motherfuckers who don't eat meat, or pescatarian motherfuckers who just eat seafood and stuff like that. They got some on there for you. They keep some stuff on there. Don't worry about that. We don't got to go to no vegan spot, and we ain't got to go to no seafood spot. They keep little shit on there. They got a salad on there. You just show up. I like that dominance. But if I didn't make the money I made and I was still in the basement, I wouldn't worry about it. Ain't nothing I can do about it. All right? So that's how I carry it. So if you can, guys, do it that way. But if you can't, don't lose no sleep over it. Next, guys, women share alpha providers. Yeah, you don't get shared if you're a beta provider. You lucky you got them getting some ass. Because, guys, I'm going to tell y'all guys something about beta providers. If you're going to be a beta provider, do the shit right. What I mean by do the shit right, make sure you getting that ass on a regular basis when you want it. Don't let her ration out no booty to you because she feel like I got more sexual. If you're going to be a beta provider, you own that ass. That's your ass bought and paid for. You leasing it. If I go out and I lease a car, I don't want to hear Mercedes or goddamn Volkswagen telling me when I can drive the motherfucker. Driving the hell I want to. I'm leasing this motherfucker. Some of you guys are beta providers and she issues some pussy twice a month and all that. No. Mine, bought and paid for. Pussy on demand. Yeah, we don't ration out shit. So if you're going to do it right. But she ain't going to share you. I ain't going to tell you that lie. She's not going to share you. Women share alpha providers. You know what I should say? You know what I should say, guys? They turn the other cheek. That's what they do. They turn the other cheek. They don't condone it. They don't give you condoms when you go out the door and say, hey, practice safe sex. I ain't gonna do all that now. They just turn the other cheek. And like, out of sight, out of mind. I ain't saying I agree with it, but what I don't know don't hurt me. Beta provider, you don't get none of that. She's not going to share you. The reason why this is, guys, is because you know what I need to do? Let me explain something to you guys, too, about alpha providers and beta providers. With the alpha provider, it's not all financial. He just provides because he can and he wants to dominate the relationship, but lead the relationship. But she is attracted to him. So his resources and stuff like that is only a small equation of it. It's not the total equation. With the beta provider, it's 95 or probably 99.9% of the equation. Security. With the alpha provider, it's not. So in other words, I say all that to say this. There's actually some hierarchy going on right here, as into I'm just happy he chose me. With the beta provider, the woman doesn't feel lucky that you chose her. She feels like you're lucky she's with you. So that's a different dynamic right there. So all the women I deal with, they know I'm gonna date other women. And so there's a hierarchy there to where they're just happy to be in my life. So they accept it. With beta provider, that's all it is. And so it's not no scarcity with her to where I have to accept this. If she has a scarcity with you, then it's you an alpha provider. Even if you think you're a beta provider. Because women don't have a scarcity with beta providers. They have a scarcity with alpha providers. Guys that provide, but they also want, that they like and care about. So there's a scarcity to, I don't want to lose him. With a beta provider, that's not that. It don't work that way. For all y'all guys who don't know, if you're an attractive woman, beta providers grow on trees. There's no need to be scarcity of them. There's plenty of guys willing to trick off dollars. There's nothing special about being a beta provider. I'm just being honest with y'all guys. There's not, unless she's older. But there's a lot of guys willing to just trick off money and spend money. Women only act like that with alpha providers. All right, guys. Next, alpha providers get companionship. Beta providers get company. Companionship, guys, is intimacy, all that, passion and stuff like that. Beta providers just get company. She's there, but it's not nothing spectacular. Now, here's the thing. And here, guys, I got to be honest on this. If I was an unattractive guy or a guy who has low sexual market value, I should stop saying unattractive. I should just say sexual market value, because the attraction he could be an unattractive guy, but what if he's the quarterback of the football team, right? What if he's an unattractive guy, but he is the head of a fraternity? So I should stop saying unattractive. I should say low sexual market value. All right. So if you got low sexual market value and you want to date women that have a high sexual market value, fuck the companionship. And I'm just being honest with you. Fuck the companionship. Unless it means, you know what? You have to see what it means to you. But I don't want companionship from some ugly bitch. Yeah, you know what? I gotta go buy a dog. Yeah, I don't need no ugly bitch all hugged up on me and kissing on my neck. I get a dog for that. I gotta buy a dog for companionship. I want somebody who get my dick hard. Ain't nothing worse than seeing an unattractive couple in public. Or a couple with low sexual market value. Because what I see when I see that is I typically see a man that looks like he wish he would just die. If y'all guys ever seen a man with a woman that it's like he knows she's unattractive, but he has a low sexual market value. So what is he supposed to do? He look like shit. He ain't got no money. Well, you think he gonna go out and get a supermodel? So he got two choices. Either become black pill and cry on the internet all day or drop his standards. He chose to drop his standards. I wouldn't do that. If I was a guy with low sexual market value, I would work like hell to build myself up. And when I say this, guys, I'm taking it from an aspect of financially, right? Financial. I raise my finances, right? Because if you're technically a unattractive guy and you're unable to get some sort of status, this is how it works, guys. Resources only help you as far as improving your sexual market value if it does something to improve your attractiveness. And what I mean by that is, typically when you see a lot of guys, so like when I see some guys, if you just sit back and look at them sometimes, some guys with low sexual market value, if you just sit back and look at them, if you could just tell if they got a wardrobe makeover, they sexual market value will go up 2 or 3 points. So like if they was like a 3 or 4, if they made some money and was just to improve their fashion and their grooming, they would go from a 4 to a 7. And lost a few pounds, they would go from a 4 to a 7. Most guys' sexual market value is low because they I went to the club like 3 weeks ago and I'm just looking at guys, I'm just like, guys don't put no effort into their appearance. And I'm just thinking to myself, I said, if I was to give this motherfucker some fashion tips and they lost 20 pounds, they sexual market value would go up 3 or 4 points. But I'm talking about, let's just assume that that's not the issue. Let's just assume that your sexual market value comes from not being very charismatic with women and not being attractive facially. Let's just assume that, right? I would bust my ass financially to improve my finances, and I would rather be a beta provider than to date unattractive women. So that's your 3 choices, guys. If you're facially an unattractive guy or just super short, right? Let's say 5'4" and below, right? Which women just kill short guys. And I ain't found that out till I became a dating coach. But I would not date lower tier women. So your 3 choices, guys. You can either watch black pill videos all day and feeling good about it, that they cheer you up, that they get to bash women all day and talk about Chad and Stacy's. Get you an ugly bitch that don't even turn you on, but it's better than nothing, you say to yourself. Or you can start making some money and do some compensating. Out of those 3 choices, I would go with the get some money and start compensating bitches who have a high sexual market value. You can do what you want to do. I buy a dog for companionship. And this was the part where I was going to talk about go against the dating coaches. When dating coaches see this video, they're going to turn over in their grave. I mean, every dating coach that ever lived, I don't give a fuck if they've been dead 30 years, 40 years. When they hear this video about me talking about some compensating, they don't like, oh man, what the fuck this dude talking about? What I am, guys, is I'm realistic and I'm honest. And you don't got to like it. But that's the truth. That's the truth. Y'all know goddamn well, and I hate to keep using him, but I think he's a great example. Y'all guys know goddamn well Biggie does not pull Faith if he's a construction worker. I think we all know that. And of course, Faith gonna say, but it was his ambition and bullshit, bitch. Bullshit. It was his status and money. And to be quite honest with you guys, it probably was more of his status. If Biggie probably made that same amount of money as an entrepreneur, I guarantee you he still wouldn't have had all the women he had, even if he had made the same amount of money say he had restaurants and he wasn't a world famous rapper. His status more than his money raised his sexual market value. Because if you would have just gave him the money, but him not being famous, I guarantee you he still wouldn't have attracted the women he attracted. It was the status. And that's when I was telling you guys a few minutes ago about finances only improve your sexual market value if it improves your attractiveness. It's typically going to be the way you look and your status and your charisma. You hear dating coaches talk about the game, and they're right. The problem what I have with dating coaches when they talk about charisma, they act like it's something that you can just read in a book. Guys, you either got it or you don't. Damn. You either can sing or you can't. Guys, if you either can shoot a basketball or you can't. You can improve it, but guys, right now, if you shoot basketball like hell, you not finna become Steph Curry. I don't care how many hours you put in the gym. Some shit is just God-given. I'm sorry, guys. You're not going to be as smart as Albert Einstein. I don't give a fuck how many books you read. The man had a gift from God. When they broke his brain down, looked at the brain, they found out he was missing chunks, parts of his brain where he had no limitations to his scientific rationing, mathematics and shit. Where the part where the brain does all that shit at, that part of his brain was like crazy large. So when dating coaches who have this gift from God to be charismatic and all this type of stuff with women, it just boggles my mind that they think that everybody can read a book and pick up on that. You cannot. Some men would never be ladies' men. Period. You're not going to be. I don't give a fuck how many courses you read, you're not going to be. This is why I started the self-improvement movement. That's why I did it. Because I understood from a very early age that, listen, if you want to attract women, particularly hot women, you're going to have your shit together. Yes, there are some broke men who have a mouthpiece that can be homeless under a bridge and they can go out and get dimes to take care of them. Yes, unfortunately, that's not going to be the overwhelming majority of men. I am sorry. There are some guys who have that kind of conversation skills that can be homeless and go up to dimes and have the dime take care of them. You have those guys. But I'm sorry, there's not enough comedy classes that are going to turn you into Dave Chappelle. I'm sorry. Or Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor. And there's not enough game books you can read that's going to turn you into this seductive, ladies talking man. So you either, if you're somebody who are not blessed with that, you either improve yourself financially and do some compensation, or watch black pill videos all day, or date women who you don't really want. That's the option, guys. I'm sorry, that's the option. I'm telling you what I would do if it was me. I would not want to date and be in a relationship with a 4 or a 5. I'm sorry. I would rather do some compensation. Call me a trick. Call me whatever you want to. Lucky for me, I'm 6'4". I've been considered good looking all my life. I never had to deal with that issue. But if I did, that's what I would do. You do what the hell you want to do. Next, guys, the alpha provider provides the necessities. The necessities. The beta provider provides the wants. So as an alpha provider, what I say, I wouldn't call myself an alpha provider because I'm never gonna live with a woman ever in my life. But if I did live with a woman, I would be the alpha provider, mainly because I make the money to afford to do that. I wouldn't if I didn't make the money. But if I did live with a woman, I would be the alpha provider. Now, the situation I am now, I provide for their experiences. But I don't consider that an alpha provider. If you don't live with your girl and you don't pay her bills and stuff like that, I don't consider you an alpha provider. You're just an alpha. Right? Even if you pay for the dates. When I think of an alpha provider, I think of y'all are in a, I wouldn't say monogamous. It's a one-sided monogamous relationship, right? and the man pays the bills or the overwhelming majority of the bills. Maybe she pay a light bill or something, but you pay like 80% of stuff at least, 75% of stuff, 80% of stuff. And so you provide the necessity. You pay the bills, you pay for the dates. Outside of Valentine's Day, Christmas, and her birthday, there's no gifts. You don't do random gifts. Beta providers provide that type of stuff. They go above and beyond just paying for the necessities. Okay, guys? And let me say this again, guys. If you can't afford it, do not try to be no alpha provider. But if you're a guy that's making $700,000 a year and your girl making $70,000 a year, I think it'll be kind of hard to say, hey, you got your half of the rent this month? I don't know how that works. I don't know how I can make $1.2 million this year and my girl over there making $65,000 or $60,000 as a social worker. And I'm like, hey, you got, let me know when you got your half of the rent this month. I don't exactly know how that works. That don't exactly go well together. That's why I keep saying I only do this if you make the money to do it. Right? So, but the alpha provider just provides the necessities. All right, guys. If you don't live with your girl, unless you're paying her bills, I wouldn't call you an alpha provider. I think an alpha provider has to provide the necessity. He pays the bills. He pays for all the dates, stuff like that. That's what I think of an alpha provider. If you're not doing that, I just consider you an alpha. Okay, guys? If you're just paying for dates, you're just an alpha. Okay, guys? And the last one, guys, the woman would cheat on a beta provider. She won't cheat on the alpha provider. With an alpha provider, guys, there's that fear of loss. So typically, guys, alpha providers, when they're in a relationship with a woman, it's a one-sided monogamous relationship. He has the dominance in the sexual market value to where he can say, well, it's a little unspoken rules most times than not. Not with me, though. Not with me. I tell the women that when I'm dating them and they in the steady rotation, you make it to a steady rotation, no, your dick having days are old with except mine. If we just stay dating, I don't give a fuck who you go. I don't give a fuck. You can fuck the whole football team. But if you make it to my rotation where I'm seeing you twice a week, Tuesday and Friday or Wednesday and Saturday, oh no, no, so with. No. For all y'all guys who say, AMS, that don't sound right. It don't sound right. It ain't right. That's the dominance. This is what I go talking to you guys about. It's not right. I do it because I can. That's how alphas roll. I do what the hell I want to do. It's not right. You don't gotta like it. That's the way it works. It's not right. They're gonna run a moral college over here. Run a moral college. This is a dictatorship. That's why I pay the cost to be the boss. Could I do that? And we sitting up here, she pay for a date, I pay for a date. I don't know how that works. Maybe you could. I don't know, but beta providers, you can't get away with that. She will cheat on you. She's not going to cheat on her alpha provider. It's a fear of loss. She don't have a fear of loss with you. Another thing about a woman who's with a guy who, for solely his resources, she don't have much of a moral ethics. I want you to just think about this. Somebody who would fuck with a dude just for his money, do that sound like somebody who's on a moral high ground standing? Of course not. She's not on moral high ground standing. A girl who have high moral standing, she'll be like, I'm not attracted to the dude. I'm not finna just date him because he gonna buy me stuff. That bitch don't give a fuck. Another thing is, guys, she's lacking that intimacy, that companionship. Y'all just have company. She's just there. At some point, she starts missing that deep burning desire. I love when you guys say that. Oh, man. Deep burning desire. Yeah, she lacking that. So she gonna have to go get it from time to time. Plus, she don't have a fear of loss. It kind of reminds me of R. Kelly and that on that video down low where the guy had all the money, Ronald Eyes had all the money and stuff like this, and she was cheating with R. Kelly. Because although he had the resource, there's not that fear of loss. I can almost guarantee you, Savannah James does not cheat on LeBron James. I guarantee you she has a fear of loss. I promise you she does. So with a beta provider, just not that fear of loss. All right, guys. Hope you guys learned something. I know I said a lot of controversial talking points in here, but it is what it is. I'll get back with you guys later.